Hello children, the topic for class 9 today is parallel lines and a transversal. We are doing lines and angles. In that chapter, we have already gone through the theorem of vertically opposite angles. Yes, we know that vertically opposite angles are equal. Today we are going to deal with parallel lines and a transversal. Okay, now what are parallel lines? Parallel lines are lines which never meet. Example of this will be the railway track. The railway track is something where both the tracks never meet. So that is called parallel lines. However much you extend them, they will never meet. Now these two are parallel lines. AB and CD are parallel lines. Now let us have a transversal. Supposing there is a transversal PQ. Okay, transversal is a line which cuts both the parallel lines. Any two lines. The line which is cutting the other lines is called a transversal. Okay, now in this case, what happens is we have to know the different angles that are formed when we have a set of parallel lines and a transversal. Okay, now let us name this angle 1, this as 2, 3 and 4. Okay, now in this line also we have another set of angles. Say this is 5. Okay, now this 1 and 5 are known as corresponding angles. So what will you get? Angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. Okay, same way this angle 2 and 6. Angle 2 and 6 are also corresponding angles. Similarly, that is on top of the line. Now you take the angles below the line. This angle 4 and this angle 8 are also corresponding angles. So 4, 8 are also corresponding angles. Similarly, angle 3 and 7. Angle 3, angle 7 are corresponding angles. Now, when we have a pair of parallel lines, then the corresponding angles are always equal. Even if we have another few more parallel lines, the corresponding angles will always be equal. So, that means what can I say? Angle 1 is equal to angle 5. Angle 2 is equal to angle 6. Angle 4 is equal to angle 8. And angle 3 equal to angle 7. So did you understand? The first thing that we are learning based on parallel lines and transversal is corresponding angles are equal. Okay, that's the first thing that's the first axiom that we have learned. Now the converse of that axiom is if the corresponding angles are equal, then the lines are parallel. Okay, so that is right way. Now let us go on to the next. Let us have a pair of parallel lines like this. We have A, B, C and D. Okay, let AB and CD be two parallel lines and let us have a transversal like this. Okay, let us say this is P and Q. Okay, now these angles, we look for the Z. Okay, this Z, no? And we have a Z like this. Can you see the Z? Yes. In the Z, there are two angles formed. Which are this angle and this angle. Okay. Now let us name this as 1 and 2. These two angles are known as alternate interior angles. What are they called? Alternate. Angle 1 and angle 2 are alternate interior angles. Okay. Now when they are alternate interior angles, what happens? They will be equal. Alternate interior angles are equal. If the alternate interior angles are equal, then the two lines are parallel. Understand? And if the two lines are parallel, the alternate interior angles will be equal. Yes. Now if you take this is the ulta side, right? Can you see this? This angle will also be equal to this angle. This is 3 and this is 4. So we can also say, if we look for this side, we have angle 3 equal to angle 4. Understand? So this is also called alternate interior angles. Understand? So have you understood this theorem where you go for the Z theorem? Alternate interior angles are equal if two lines are parallel and there is a transversal cutting it. Similarly, if the alternate interior angles are equal, then the two lines are said to be parallel. Okay, so now we have got one axiom and one theorem. Right. Now let us go on to the next theorem, which says, supposing you have a pair of parallel lines like this. Let's say you have A, B and C, D. There is a transversal like this, P, Q. Okay. Now this angle and this angle are in between the two parallel lines. Yes, they are in between these two parallel lines. Okay, then this angle and this angle are called co-interior angles. So angle 1 and angle 2 are co-interior angles. Okay, so when they are co-interior angles, these co-interior angles will also always be supplementary. So what is the rule? Angle 1 plus angle 2 equal to 180 degrees. You understand? So these two are called co-interior angles. Now these two also will be co-interior, right? Because they are also coming between two parallel lines. So this we can name it as 3 and 4. So angle 3 plus angle 4 is equal to 180 degrees because they are also co-interior angles. Okay, now if the co-interior angles are supplementary, then the lines are said to be parallel. And if the lines are parallel, the co-interior angles will be supplementary. This is the theorems that you should know. Now what are the things that we have learned so far? Let us recap and write it down. The first axiom was what did we say? The corresponding angles are equal in parallel lines. Okay, this was the axiom. So the corresponding angles are equal in parallel lines, and if the corresponding angles are equal, then the lines are said to be parallel. Now the theorem 1. What is the theorem? First theorem that we learned. The first theorem is if two lines are parallel, then their alternate interior angles are equal. Yes. Then the converse of this theorem is, if the alternate interior angles are equal, then the lines are parallel. Okay. Then let us go on to theorem 2. Theorem 2, what is the second theorem? If two lines are parallel, then their co-interior angles are supplementary. The co-interior angles are supplementary. Similarly, if the co-interior angles are supplementary, then the lines are said to be parallel. So you must know the theorem and the converse of the theorem. The same way, this theorem and the converse of this theorem. I hope you have understood. Now let us do some sums based on this. Okay. The first sum that I would like to do is we have a line like this. This is A, B, C, D, and say this is P, Q. Okay, now what happens is this they have given as 50 degrees and this as X. Then here they have given 130 and this is Y. Okay, then they want us to find Z also. Okay. Now, if you notice what happens, this 50 and Z, what are they? They are corresponding angles. So can I say Z is equal to 50 degrees? By which axiom? Corresponding angles are equal. Okay. Then, similarly, what will happen to X and 130? X will be 130 by the same rule. That is, corresponding angles are equal. Now, what do you think will Y be? We can see these two are vertically opposite angles. So, we can say Y is equal to 130 because of the rule, theorem, vertically opposite angles are equal. So, did you understand how to solve these type of sums? Yes. So, I hope you have understood the theorems that I have introduced relating to parallel lines and a transverse rule. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.